Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz is sponsored by Hardee'S, Don Hudson Insurance, McAdoo's, Wicked Diesel, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jermaine Ferrell, hoping your day is wonderful and blessed. Time now to start the 7th season of Friday Night Blitz on the Hardee'S Tip. We kick off our game action with our Game of the Week.
Now, the Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week, sponsored by Don Hudson Insurance.
Our Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week for Week 1 takes us over to Salem Stadium for the first ever meeting between the Salem Spartans and the Liberty Christian Bulldogs. This game is loaded with Power 5 college talent. Salem running back Peyton Lewis, he's headed to Tennessee. Defensive end Chris Cole set to make his college decision on September 10th as he's narrowed his choice down to 6 schools. And LCA's junior running back Gideon Davidson, he's committed to Clemson. Now LCA, with only 9 games on the schedule, they lost in the Region 3C Finals. Salem lost in the Region 4D Finals last year. So let's go out to Salem Stadium, and things were rocking. It was on like popcorn. LCA up 7-0. How about Gideon Davidson running hard? He's a junior running like a senior. Touchdown. The Bulldogs up 14-0. But you know the Salem Spartans would respond. They are at home and they do special things. How about Peyton Lewis from the 5-yard line? Takes it outside. He got it in for the score. The Spartans would miss the extra point, so it's 14-6 LCA. Later, Salem would march back down the field. This time, they're in the red zone. How about JP? Are you with me? Josiah Persinger takes it in for the touchdown. 14-12. Salem would go for 2. And how about Eli Taylor? This pass is going to be tipped and it lands in the hands right there. How about Jalen Allen able to get it in? We're tied at 14, but LCA would get a touchdown in the second half. They would win this one 21-14. A few miles away, let's go over to Stinger Stadium in Campbell County. The Brookville Bees hosting the Patrick Henry Patriots. Bees up 6-0 early, going for more. How about Link McDaniel throwing this one? But PH's Taquan Martin, he's going to get the pick, and he is going to run this a long way. How about running to the outside, and then about a little bit later, it sets up Joey Beasley to Carson Derry, gets the touchdown. That put PH up 7-6. They would not look back in this ball game. PH, they go on and they would sting the Bees 58-25. How about this matchup? Christiansburg and Floyd County. Winfred Beal, his 43rd year as the head coach of the Buffaloes, but it was all Christiansburg in this one. Tanner Evans runs it hard. The quarterback running like a running back. Taking it hard, young fella. You got one. Touchdown. Christiansburg takes a 7-0 lead. But then how about this? Jacob Evans is going to take this one. He's going to go deep, hook up with Phil Bradford in stride. Got it in there, or rather, Jacob Evans got that one. He made the catch, I'm sorry, right there. But then a little bit later, Tanner Evans, he is the reigning Friday Night Blitz Player of the Year. He runs it in. And Christiansburg, they go on and get the win tonight. They win this one over Floyd 21-0. Let's go down to Bassett. How about this? Franklin County taking on Bassett. And Bassett would have the lead in this ball game. How about this? Zacchaeus Hilton, he's going to break free into clear. He's got one. He's running hard down there for the touchdown. And in the end, do we have the score on that? But anyway, the last score we had, this game started at 8. Bassett was winning this one 28-7. Guess what? We have more Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz. We open up week 1 of the season, and guess where we're going? Holler to heaven. David DeGuzman was there. Glenver and Galax open up the season. Stick and stay, please.
Now, Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz Band of the Week. Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz on Wfxr.
Time to get it on.
Welcome back, good peeps, to Friday Night Blitz, Hardee'S style with week 1. Now, David DeGuzman, he is in the house. He joins me. And David, you were at a couple of games and leading off with a strong traditional opener between Galax and Glenver.
Yeah, that's right, Jermaine. Happy week 1 to you and those of you joining us from home. Week number 1, presenting a battle between two teams who are used to deep playoff runs. And the series between Glenver and Galax has become a tight one over the years. After 11 meetings, the Highlanders have the slight edge with 6 wins, but the Maroon Tide won last year's matchup 27-20. To Highlander Stadium we go. Galax coming off that upset loss in the region semifinals. Glenver got a step further, making it to the region championship. Both teams with high optimism on this opening night. Scoreless first quarter. The Highlanders driving inside the 40. Reed Hutchinson takes the grab, marches his way toward the end zone, and we're inside the 10. Highlanders knocking at the doorstep. A few plays later, Brody Doyat, the sophomore, with the play action pass, finds Shane Gibson, who finishes the job for the opening Highlanders touchdown of the year. 7-0 Glenver, and cue the confetti from the student section. The Maroon Tide come up with a response. Second quarter, Tommy Jones coughs it up to Ted Run Tucker, who somehow avoids all the tackles, gets through a forest of Highlanders and into the end zone for the score. We are tied at 7. Galax, though, striking again in this quarter with a nice throw. Wait for it, Jones to Colton Coombs, giving the Tide the lead. This was a highly offensive game, but it's Glenver getting the win, 39-21. Over to Bogle Stadium. Head coaching debut for Hunter Shepard, taking over the Cave Spring program after spending the last 4 years as a defensive coordinator at Stanton River. Knights taking on Western Albemarle. We'll pick it up in the second half. Home team up 21-3, and looking for more. Amarian Tolliver just puts his hand out. Easy punch in for 6. Cave Spring up 28-3. Still in the third quarter. From their own backfield, here's the launch from Garrett Lonker. Deep bomb to Owen Sweeney. He's got a blank space, baby, and he's writing his name. 84 yards to the house. The Knights with a 35-3 lead, and we are not done yet. After the Knights secured an interception, that drive ended with this. Jackson Steffen takes the handoff, finds the fast lane for 6 points. Cave Spring with the 42-3 win over the Warriors to win the opener. So not a bad day for some of the home teams in Roanoke County. Not a bad day for me because I got to throw in a Taylor Swift reference. And congrats to Hunter Shepard on winning his head coaching debut. Next up for the Knights, another home game, this time against Northside next week. Jermaine?
Hey, I have one quick question for you, David. Are you a Swiftie? Let's pull him back up.
I wouldn't
Let me
call
ask
it
the
a
question.
Swiftie because I know some people who are just way more than me, but I do enjoy the Taylor Swift every now and then. Jermaine.
There you go. Hey, that's big time right there. Good work as always tonight. Thank you so much, David. Now, we come to the new portion of the show, ×3 in Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz. Kind of like a combo meal. You're driving through the drive-thru at Hardee'S. Anyway, the new Allegheny Cougars making their debut on the football field. Now, the first ever game for Allegheny, but they would match up with Waynesboro. Let's go out to Casey Field in Covington. Nice scene for everything. Allegheny on the opening kickoff. What do? Andrew Booth, he has a ticket booth, takes it to the house. Covington and Allegheny combined. That's a 7-0 lead for the Allegheny Cougars. And then how about Des Jordan? Takes the rock and he knows what to do with it. Takes it to the outside, young fella. You got one. Take it to the house. Allegheny Cougars, they open up the program. They're 1-0. They have a 100% winning percentage, better than any school out there, 35-7 over Waynesboro. Meanwhile, staying with a new theme, Northside and Pulaski County hooking up at Viking Stadium on the new artificial service was dedicated tonight for the game. Both teams looking to turn things around after a disappointing 2022. And the flag bearer, the standard bearer for the Cougars, their quarterback, Chris Gallimore, parts the Vikings Red Sea, or Green Sea in this case, 20-yard score. That made it 6-0 Pulaski after the missed kick. On the ensuing kickoff, guess what Northside does? Chris King, well, if you're going to crown him, why don't you crown him? 77 yards, he gets it to the house. The Vikings go up 7-6. Things looking good for Northside, but Chris Gallimore, the quarterback, takes it in, calls his own number, got it in for the touchdown. That made it 13-7 Pulaski. To the second quarter, the Cougars, Carmelo Dudley, CD, are you with me? Plows his way, deuces, 22 in the program. Number 1 in your heart for the Cougars. That made it 20-7 Pulaski County. The Cougars start the season with a win over Northside, 42-7. Meanwhile, our final first of the night takes us over the Colonel Stadium, George Killamilla Field. The first ever meeting between William Fleming and Hidden Valley on the gridiron. Nick Leftwich in his coaching debut at William Fleming's third straight year. He opened up the season against Scott Weaver's Titans. He's 1-1 against Hidden Valley. At his time at K-Spring, they won the opener last year. Keep in mind that. But how about let's go to the first quarter. Fleming's MC, Malachi Coleman. 4 yards out, that's a touchdown. The Colonels take a 6-0 lead, but Malachi Coleman wasn't done. He's going to take this one 85 yards. Take it to the house, young fella. It's 12-0 Colonels, and as the cool kids say at the Cliff, cold as ice. Yes, there it is. Meanwhile, second quarter by Fleming. Special teams was good as well. Amarza Gray, color of gray, gray shades, 50 yards. He's going to take it all the way down to the 2-yard line, and that would set up Davion Faulkner. He's going to take one into the house. We're going to show it because that's how we roll around here. If you want to see a Davion Faulkner touchdown, let's show a Davion Faulkner touchdown. Yes, we're going to show it. Yes, we are. Well, yeah, I'm going to show it. I promise you. If I talked it up, I have to show it. There it is. That's a touchdown. It was 19-0, and that was the last score we had. Fleming was up 19-0 going into the half. Up next on Friday Night Blitz Hardee'S style, as we're first with your highlights, we take a trip east to 4-6 in Lynchburg, where Glass and LB match up on the gridiron. More Blitz in a couple of minutes.
And now, Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz Hardee'S Fan Cam, sponsored by Hardee'S. And now, back to the Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz on Wfxr.
Time to get it on.
And welcome back, folks. We're back with more Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz. Thank you so much for watching week 1 of the high school football season. It's fast and furious. A lot of games got moved a little bit later, so we appreciate you guys hanging in. Of course, we're first with all your highlights and all the action. Now, a pretty good matchup from City Stadium in Lynchburg is the Easy Glass Hilltoppers under their new head coach, Jamar Lovelace, taking on the Lord Botetourt Cavaliers as Jamie Harless' crew with a new offensive look. Now, while the offense and the crowd was there as expected, it was defense they were cheering all about down there. How about Lord Botetourt quarterback Jakari Nicely? He's a threat to run or pass, but no threat when he's getting taken down to the ground. That sack courtesy of Glass defensive lineman Kenny Smith. Meanwhile, the Hilltoppers cheerleaders, they like that. They also like this, a 15-yard TD run by Michael Thomas. Breaking through, he's in the clear. Got the touchdown. That put Glass up 7-0 just for the half, and EC Glass would go on and get the win over Lord Botetourt by the score of 14-7. Meanwhile, Old Western District battle, the last year's Class 3 runner-up, the Heritage Pioneers taking on the Albemarle Patriots. This is their first meeting since 1995. First drive of the game, how about Aiden Slash? With a name like that, you got to be a football player. He gets it in on the 8-yard score, 8 like his jersey. Heritage takes the 7-0 lead. And then how about Heritage back in the red zone? Marquise White, he's going to break the tackle. He's going to punch it in for the score. Heritage, they extend the lead to 14-0. Heritage goes to 1-0 on the year. They win one up in Charlottesville, 21-7 over Albemarle. How about Stanton River and Magna Vista? Down in the hole, baby. Golden Eagles knocked off the Warriors in the first round of the playoffs last season. How about single Joseph Spriggs? How about this? JJ Spriggs, actually. Yeah, that's his name. Breaks through for the touchdown. JJ with the score. Magna Vista up 7-0. How about midfield? How about this short pass coming up? Torian Younger is going to go find the open field. He goes down the sidelines. He's gone. 51 yards. He's got one. Magna Vista goes up 14-0, and that was the last score we had. This game started at 8. Of course, we'll have all the updated. What's that? Oh, we got one. All right, sorry, 41-6. That should be Magna Vista winning 41-6 over Stanton River right then and there. So we got that there. Anyway, Radford Bobcats at Norm Lindenberg Field hosting the George Wythe Maroons. Radford going for their 5th straight win over George Wythe. How about this? We're going to get a run to the outside, and that's a tackle there by George Wythe. but then Landon Clark passes to Dalhart there. And then Tandem Smith is going to make an incomplete pass to Austin repass, nearly tackled the camera guy right there. George Whiff would punt the ball, and then Radford, there's the punt right there. Radford, they're going to get the ball, and the punt dribbles around, and George Whiff would down it. But Landon Clark is going to hook up with Max Knight, and he's going to get tackled right there. And then Landon Clark also tries to run hard, and they try to get something going there. Radford, they had an 8-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, and they would open things up in the second half. Radford getting the win tonight over George Wythe, 42-7. Meanwhile, our final highlight of the night takes us to Bob Patterson Stadium in Vinton. Williamsburg Terriers hosting the Liberty Minutemen. First quarter, ball around the 20. Birds, Braden Andrews with the carry, goes to the outside. 7 in the program, 7 in the end zone, 7 on the scoreboard. Terriers go up 7-0, but later, how about Liberty looking to respond to Sear Johnson? He's going to do something. He funnels the ball, and Birds, Jonathan Rosser would recover. Terriers back in the driver's seat with the ball around the 10. This is going to be Andrews. He's going to worm his way in. He does it again, young fella. You got one. Bird goes up 14-0, and in the end, the Terriers, they open up the season in a big way, 72-0 over Liberty.
Now, Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz Player of the Week, sponsored by Wicked Diesel.
Well, at this time of the show, each and every week we'll have our Hardee'S Friday Night, or our Wicked Diesel, our Player of the Week. Now, Ryan MOYE will shine a spotlight on our top player. So again, each and every week we'll have our first one next week. We had so many great candidates, so stay tuned. Next week's going to be a good one. We have a lot of good ones to choose from. Again, our first Wicked Diesel Player of the Week, that's coming your way next week on Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz. Up next, we put a wrap on the show, Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz. We have our Play of the Night plus our first unsung hero of the season. Stick and stay, please.
And now, the Macadit Play of the Night, sponsored by McAdoo's.
Our first Macadit Play of the Night, we go back to William Fleming, Hidden Valley. The Colonels running back Malachi Coleman. He was cold as ice. 85 yards run. As Malachi Coleman, he gets it done with the Macadit Play of the Night. It's the William Fleming Colonels. They get the win tonight over Hidden Valley by a score of 32, or was it 31-0? 32-0 on the game.
And now, it's Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz Unsung Hero, celebrating those who keep the game moving, sponsored by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
It is Unsung Hero time, and this week's honoree is Patrick Henry High School head athletic trainer Jeannie Brown. She enters her 22nd year at PH as her top athletic trainer. Now, coaches and administrators credit Brown with going the extra mile for the Patriot athlete. Now, one PH administrator told me today she goes above and beyond by putting the kids first more times than not, working 7 days a week. So congratulations to Patrick Henry's top head athletic trainer Jeannie Brown, this week's Unsung Hero. So we're going to have some time here. David DeGuzman back in the house. And David, what an opening night. I mean, we had games moved because of the heat. But
Don't
just
you love
give
the
me your
organized chaos? Organized chaos of Friday night football. Gotta love it. I have two thoughts. Hey, that game of the week, man, did that live up to the hype. LCA and Salem, that was a close game that just got down to the wire. I'm interested to see what's going to happen to Salem. How are they going to bounce back? Because, you know, they don't want to start out the season with a loss. Jermaine, you got to refresh my memory. When was the last time Salem lost an opening week game? I mean, unless they faced that Martinsville from West Virginia, it's been a while, right?
Yeah, it was that Martinsburg team, because that was the one that came down and beat them. But yeah, usually Salem is strong. And here's the thing, when you look at Salem, they're going to bounce back. They're the type of team that's bouncing back, so they'll do well. But I tell you what, the game you had, that Glenver-Galax game, I mean, those two teams, it seems like every year when they match up, David, there's fireworks.
I think so. I love the atmosphere there. I mean, the student section was getting into it too. I left when Galax was going up 14-7, but I think we've come to expect now that these are two teams that tend to have a lot of offense. One last thought for you. How about William Byrd? I mean, that score line, 70 points. I mean, who puts up 70 points? And I was just talking to George Nola from the control room. They put up 70 points or something like that last week in a scrimmage. So this might be a team to keep an eye on because Brad Lutz has got some high-powered offense going into week number 2.
And I tell you, it's going to be a fun time. When you look at that team, it's going to be awesome. And we knew William Byrd, they were nearly in the playoffs last year, so good stuff. But David, good work
Week
as
1,
always.
it's in the books. Let's do
That's
it again
right.
next week.
Hey, let's do it again. That's how we roll. Guess what? That does it for this edition of the Hardee'S Friday Night Blitz. We will have this show on WFXRTV.com momentarily. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jermaine Ferrell for David DEGUZMAN, Ryan MOYE, and the entire WFXR crew. Thank you so much. I hope all of your teams are winners. Have a wonderful and blessed night and weekend, everybody.